Hello everyone and welcome back to another Sims 3 speed build. So today we are actually working in a Luna Island. However, this lot does not have to be placed in a Luna Island. I just kind of created it for it because the house that originally, well, I shouldn't say really originally because there is no house here when you were to download the island. But James from the Sim Supply did build a house specifically for this lot. I don't know if what it is about that lot. Maybe it's just my game. I really don't know. I have tried re-downloading it multiple times, installing it into the game several times, and no matter what I do with that lot, for whatever reason, the Sims are constantly, whatever family lives there, it doesn't even matter what family it is. Whatever family it is, they are always constantly being reset. And I have no idea what the problem is. I really don't. I've even sat there and just watched the family and just to see what is it that they're trying to do that causes them to reset. And I can't figure it out. So, it's actually a house that I never use. I do have it, but I never use it. And I had decided that I finally wanted to build a house for this spot. Whether or not the house really goes, it's kind of a cottagey type of house. And I put it sideways on the lot, so I don't know, I don't know. I like the house, I like the way it looks. But whether or not it technically goes with the area, I don't really know. I tried using, colors and the thatch type of roof or whatever that roof is called. I tried using colors and the wood paneling and stuff to try to maybe blend it in a little bit with the area, but I don't know. I would have to say another thing about this lot, I would have to say, and it's more or less a game glitch because, again, the property is designed based off of the other houses that you see there. And they do have fences, including the house in front has a fence that goes along the front of the house or along the front of the property. And then of course you got the fences and stuff along the back of the property. The only thing I have noticed, and it doesn't always happen in my games and it doesn't always happen with every lot, but there is the issue where I'm trying to think now. I'm watching the build go at the same time as I'm trying to explain something completely different that's not even on the screen. But the fencing sometimes causes problems with the game. Again, I think it's just more or less a game issue because it doesn't always happen. Sometimes they just can't get to the property. Sometimes they can't even exit the property when there's a fence that goes around the front. And as you can see, every single house on this street has a fence that goes along the front of the property, all the way on the very edge. And I've done other houses as well that have fences that go along the very front. And again, I don't always have this problem. I did play in this house once for a little bit. When I say a little bit, I think my Sims made it maybe 5 sim days, maybe a week, I don't know. But they couldn't leave the property and they couldn't enter the property, and it all boils down to that stupid fence glitch that this game has once in a while. I don't know if you guys have ever come across it or not, but you may have to remove the fence in the front. I do leave a large gap in the front for them to come in. It's not like they're blocked, but they act like they're blocked. I really don't know what the problem actually is. But I do leave, I think it's either 3 or 4 squares in size that I leave open, but they act like it's completely closed off altogether. So you may have to remove the fence, and maybe you'll get lucky and you won't have to. I went in and I removed several parts of the fence, and it still was having the problem. The only time I could get them to go into the house is if I removed the entire row across the front. Yet they could go in and out of the other lots just fine. So it's going to be one of those things where it's just going to be a hit and miss. Again, it is designed to look like it goes with this with this area. So I wanted the fencing to be there so it can, look right. So I really don't know. I don't know what causes it. I've even seen it with other houses on this street, or I shouldn't say street, it's not really a street, but on the sidewalk here that you get to the other houses, I've seen it happen there too. There's been occasional that I've had to go in and remove some of them fencing on the other houses that are on this sidewalk. So it has something to do with the game. I don't know. Maybe it's the world. I really don't know. It just once in a while it happens, and I thought I would warn you right away at the very beginning of this video, just in case you happen to be one that doesn't watch the entire video. I wanted you to know as soon as I could, you know, the problem that does happen with the fence. So if you guys have maybe a solution for the whole fence thing, then, you know, please let me know in the comments below, because I do not know what causes it. So there's not even a gate. Like, you'll see the house across the sidewalk there even has a gate on theirs. I mean, it's like a hit and miss. Sometimes your Sims are stuck and sometimes they're not. I don't really know. But as you can see, there's the fence that I told you about that you might have to remove. I even put the privacy fence in the back, just like the other houses, mostly because of the cemetery is the reason why that fence is put there. But that's like 3 grid lines or 3 squares or whatever of the grid line that is open. So I really don't know what their problem is. And no, it is not the trees, it's not the plants, because as soon as I removed the fence, everything was fine. So it wasn't the fact that there was trees or plants or anything there. So although there is quite a few, but other than that, they go in the house just fine. They walk around the property just fine. They go wherever they want just fine. It just something to do with the fence. I don't know. I really don't know. So, but the house is actually a decent size. It takes up pretty much the entire lot, just about. So, but like I said, you don't have to put it here. I went and put in, you know, some bushes and stuff right here just for a little bit more privacy in the backyard, or, you know, it's kind of would be considered the backyard, even though it's a side yard, but it is the back of the house. Just a little bit of privacy for your Sims sitting out there on their back deck and stuff. So, just going in and throwing in a bunch of plants here. I didn't really have any idea on what I was going to build for sure. But I did have like a cottagey type of feeling that I was building, and that's kind of what it turned out to be. And since it was full of pink, you know, pink trees, and the shutters are kind of like a pinkish, maroonish color, whatever that would be, some kind of rosy color, and, you know, just the rosy coloring and the fence and siding. That's kind of why I called it that. My names for houses kind of suck, but at least this time I didn't name it after a female's name. Well, I guess it could be. I mean, some people call it Rosie, but I didn't spell it that way, so I wasn't thinking of it that way. I was thinking of the flower rose. So there's just a small bench right there. I don't do a whole lot in the backyard or any yard in general. I do try to put plenty of plants, at least in the front and side if necessary, but furniture wise, I really don't do much. I just don't. I never know what to do with it. When I'm building, I never get any ideas for it. It just doesn't come to me. So, yeah, it's usually pretty bare. And I apologize if I don't do enough, but that's just kind of the way I am. So, of course, you know, placing stairs sometimes can be tricky. Of course, since it's not a full upstairs, it's only a partial upstairs. And, of course, windows are a pain. Darn windows, they're always in the way. But the house ends up being a 3-bedroom house with 2 bathrooms, I believe. The house is going to cost you about $64,000 simoleons. That's with it being furnished. So it's a medium-priced house, which is kind of nice. It's kind of nice for your growing family. It's got room for, you know, the kids, and of course there's no playground area. Where you're going to put a slide in or teeter-totter and stuff, I'm not really sure, because there's not much yard space, but if you got it unfurnished, it'd be 43,000 simoleons. So basically what I'm doing here is just moving cabinets and stuff around, because I don't like having the backsplash majority of the time. So basically that's all I'm doing. But upper cabinets get upset with you if you try putting them above the kitchen counters when the counters aren't actually locked in their spot. So they don't always want to be placed. Now, when I was playing this house, see, I'm the type that likes having laundry, but I didn't put a laundry in the house this time. My sim had the wish for a washer. So, what I did, and believe it or not, it works. I was surprised for it to work, actually. The washers are actually quite bigger than the cabinets. I actually removed the cabinet there on the far left, and I kind of merged a washer into where the knobs just barely poked through the tiles, kind of like it was built in, and it worked fine. I was like, oh, that's so cool. I didn't know that. Now that gives me more ideas, and in fact, I think I did something similar, or not really similar. I did it in another build, kind of. It's put in the bathroom, but you know what? That gave me an idea. I was like, look, I can put a washer in, and it doesn't have to be in a laundry room, and it looked pretty nice. Actually, it worked. So, and then I put a clothesline out by the maple or by the magnolia tree. If you know what a magnolia tree is, it's the big tree in the back corner that has the white flowers. I actually put a clothesline out there for my sim so she could dry her clothes, and it worked just fine. Everything in the house for the most part worked just fine. Those pots and pans are store content, so I apologize if you don't have that item. I don't usually use store content too often, and when I do, it's usually minimal. I don't use like a whole bunch. Unless you download my my secret Victorian house. Now that's packed full of store content. I mean a lot of store content. So, and don't worry about that shelf inside the refrigerator. Your refrigerator will still work. I just like to clutter up the top of my refrigerator because our fridge doesn't have a lot of stuff up there, but there is stuff on top of the refrigerator, and I have been in other people's houses that have tons of cereal boxes on top of their fridge, so that's kind of why I do that. But the main bedroom or the master bedroom is downstairs. The house is actually quite open. In fact, I really didn't know what to do with the space with as open as what it was. I didn't want to close it off too much. But you have a small breakfast nook area by the kitchen, and then this area here is going to be where the dining room sits. It's kind of, it's kind of in a weird spot, but it works. I like having dining rooms kind of where, the doorway going to the backyard is. I don't know, I just think that looks nice. One of the chairs at the dining room table probably isn't going to work. It'll be the one that is next to the doors. That's going to be the one that doesn't work. So I don't place a dining room because it work, or a table because it'll work. I place it because of the way it looks. So I apologize if if you downloaded one of my houses and there's a chair that doesn't work. There are some cheats or some things that you can do to a chair, that way the Sims don't use it. If you have NROS debug enabler, I think does it, you can actually click on the object and you can actually disable all interactions to that object, and the Sim won't use it at all. They won't even go to it. So if it's a problem, you can actually do a few things, or you could just delete it. That works too. So, there's many different kinds of things. This area here, just kind of a sitting place for you to sit and take off your shoes and things like that. Like I said, it's quite a big space. I didn't know what to do with this much space that was open and get it filled in. So between the door and the dining room table is just kind of empty and kind of there. But it works. My sim held a couple of parties here, and Other than the fact that, it's only a single door and the Sims seem to throw a fit about who gets to go in first. But once they were in the house, they seemed to move around pretty easily because it wasn't closed off. It was a nice open space. They didn't have too much trouble moving around, so kind of made it nice. So the house does work nicely and easily. I didn't see too much in the way of problems. I don't actually test my house as much anymore, mostly because I pretty much know everything that I can do and what I can't do. So, but occasionally I have accidentally put a chair to a computer desk and then put a end table behind it and accidentally put them a little too close and it don't work. But when I find out about something like that, I normally post it on the Mod the Sims website. I normally put a little note on there saying, hey, you might have to move this a little bit. It just doesn't work. It's just a little bit too close. So I don't normally fix them and then re-upload the lot. I guess I probably could do that, but I'm a little lazy. If anybody knows me, yeah, I just don't care. So, I guess if it becomes too much of a problem or if enough people complain to me about it, I guess I can go in and fix it for you. But I guess when it's just a small thing, like just moving the desk and chair out just like maybe half a square, I guess I just don't see a point in fixing that one thing. If it was a big major problem, I'd probably fix it and re-upload it, but probably not. So but anyway, this is the bathroom. It's basically like what you would call a guest bathroom. A guest bathroom is a bathroom that is not connected to a bedroom. And it's kind of there for your guests. That way they don't have to wander through the entire house. It's normally on the first floor. Occasionally, like the house I live in currently, only has one bathroom, and that bathroom is upstairs. That still wouldn't really be considered a guest bathroom because it is the only bathroom in the house, and you still have to go through almost the whole house to get to it. So basically, guest bathroom, like I was saying, is one that is on the first floor, and you can get to it without really going through any private areas of the house. Like you don't have to go through a bedroom or go through the upstairs or anything like that. So and then you have ones that are called powder rooms, and all those is a toilet and a sink with a mirror. And that's all they are. A lot of times you'll find those underneath a staircase, and I really wish I could create actual powder rooms in The Sims 3. It'd be awesome. You normally find those underneath staircases, and they have slanted ceilings in them, and they're actually really cute. I've been in one once, and they're small, but they're cute, and they do whatever it is that you need them to do. So I wish we could do that, but unfortunately The Sims would throw a fit. I remember when I first got the game, I actually tried creating one, and The Sims will actually throw a fit because the staircase is in the way and they can't get to the sink or the toilet. Because a lot of times the toilet is under the stairs where the slanted ceiling is, and the sink is over in the taller area of the underneath the stairs. So but anyway, this is the master bedroom. I put it on the first floor just because, again, there was actually quite a bit of space down there, and I didn't really know what to do with it. I don't usually create big houses, but my houses can usually hold quite a few Sims because there's normally quite a few bedrooms. And this one will hold 5 Sims, I believe. In fact, I even put in a crib in the child's bedroom, and it works just fine. So, this up here is the upstairs bathroom, of course. Nothing too special about it. It's just a bathroom. Bathrooms in the game tend to bore me because I don't really know what all to do with them to make them different from other houses. They're just kind of there. I try doing different things with them, but I tend to use the exact same objects all of the time. Like, I almost always use that stupid toilet. I could use a more expensive one, but see, I like my Sims to be busy, so I tend to like toilet to break once in a while. I do a little bit different with this bathroom. As you can see, I put that half wall in. I do that once in a while just to kind of spice it up a little bit. Just to give it something a little bit different, you know, just something, anything. But I almost always use the same sinks, and I tend to just copy the cabinets from the kitchen. I change the color a little bit, but the same rugs, pretty much same everything. So here is the child's bedroom. Since there wasn't anywhere else for a desk and computer, that's where I kind of stuck it, was underneath the bunk bed. I haven't had any troubles with those working. I normally kind of inch it out and hopefully enough that it works. I'm pretty sure it does. In fact, yes, I do remember it does work. My sim did go and autonomously work and get on the computer. So yes, it definitely works. So you shouldn't have any problem with that. And I absolutely love the puppy print wallpaper. It is one of my favorites. I love using it as a border. It's a little busy for my taste to use it for the entire wall. I have made it before as like an accent wall, but most of the time I prefer it to be like a border. And then I gave the bed a puppy print. I thought that went really well with the puppy paws, and you know, again, the basic same stuff that I always do in a kid's bedroom. I really don't know what those tables are for. I don't even know if a child can use it. I think that's just a toddler toy to build blocks, to be honest. I don't even think a child can use those, which seems kind of silly that a child can't. But this basically is either a guest bedroom or a teenager's bedroom. I don't normally have a certain one in mind. I normally just kind of color it based on whatever I'm thinking. And in this case, I decided to go with pink, since I don't think I have any room in the house that is decorated in pink. So it is kind of decorated towards a female teenager. It's got the makeup around. It's got the mirror with, you know, all the necklaces and stickers and stuff on it, you know, and the pictures. And, you know, I tried. My room as a teenager was definitely not this, you know, neat. Well, I mean, it was clean, but I went through the phase where every time I went to a fair, I had to do the darts with the balloons and get all those pictures. The amount of pictures I had from them dart games was ridiculous. And then I would also do puzzles, and I would glue them to, you know, the poster board, and then I would frame them and hang them up. Yeah, my room had, I mean, there was hardly any wall space clear, actually. It was so full of pictures and painting or puzzles, it wasn't even funny, so. But we are getting close to the end of the video. As you can see, we already did the exterior lighting, just finishing up with the terrain paints here. Just making sure everything is taken care of, and that is pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed this speed build. I really like the house. I think it is super cute. It's one of my favorites, and I hope you enjoyed it too. And if you have any comments or suggestions, go ahead and leave them below, and I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye.